Yes, here we go. It's Fight Fan TV Live, yeah, and it's Danny Glover. You know who it is. And yes, welcome to Word on the Canvas. You know, the abbreviation, word on the street, word on the roads, word on the grapevine. Well, this is word on the canvas. So welcome to this segment of the show. This is a new name. I finally found a name for it. So yeah, I said it myself. So yes, thank you guys. Welcome in. Who we ever got anyone early doors? Hold on a minute. Okay. So yeah, as everyone's getting up in the room and those who's going to be joining shortly, thank you very much. So yes, hold on a minute. Let me hold on, bear with me 1 second. 1 second, guys. Yes, we're live right now. Lock in now. Hit the link. Hit that link right there. Going live right now. So yeah, welcome. Thank you for coming in. And we're going to be talking about various topics. Hold on. Sorry about this, guys. I know I'm about like 20 minutes late. Oh, you see, I scheduled it, yeah. And then, the woman and that going out, not sticking to the ETA, man. I'll stick to the ETA. Hold on. Sorry about this. Oh, man. This is a mad thing. Who's this? Yes, Saj. How's it going? How's it going, Saj? Big ups. Hold on. What am I doing? Doing a mad thing right now. Hold on. So yeah, all right. We're in. So welcome. Big up Philip Hansa. Did you hear that? Yeah, no, not Mike. We're gonna get into that. Philip. Check the Fight Fan TV Live Instagram. Come on, I already broke that, man. I already broke that. But yes. So you probably saw the poster behind me. Let me see if actually, oh, you must have saw it on the thingy. Let me see, do I need to even get that up? Don't really, but yeah. So yeah, today we're going to talk about Richard Riakporhe, Cassius Chaney versus Trevor Bryant, Joe Cordina versus Rodriguez. Talk about Sergey Pavlovich, Tom Aspinall. Talk about Dan Aziz. Talk about Shadesha Green. Adam Smith. Well, go through various topics. So, first of all, hold on. Let me get the comment section back up. I'm doing a madman. Yes, hold on. Let me actually throw an invite link in. 1 second. If anyone wants to come in, hold on. Throw the link in from now. Hold on. Did it work? Yeah. Yeah. So first of all, I saw two interviews. I saw the Sky Sport when we talk about Richard Riakporhe. He's fighting next week Saturday, right? And that's going to be on the Wolverhampton show, which is headlined like a double header with Adam Azim for the European title, and also Tyler Denny is fighting for the European title also. He's fighting Dylan Bridian in what people are calling a keep busy fight, tune-up fight. And he said he's been on Sky Sports and he's saying that he's already signed to fight Chris Billam-Smith and Lawrence Okoli next year already. So he's saying he's already signed to fight. Sky Sports one seemed a bit, it didn't put him in the best of light. I would say that one wasn't really. But the one I did enjoy was the interview he did with October Red. That one was like a 33-minute interview. And that one was a lot better because she asked, October Red, she asked better questions in general in it. she's good at getting answers, and as she's built up a good relationship, good rapport with Richard, he's able to sort of open up more and reveal more. Some things I thought still a bit don't sound too, sounds a bit, I don't know, it's a bit questionable. Um, Plus, he had the dark glasses on as well. Would have liked to have seen his eyes when he's saying what he's saying. But Richard's my boy, man. A good, known him for years from the amateurs and stuff. I don't really see him that much. I see him now and again at certain parties and stuff through mutual friends and stuff like that. But he's mainly up in Loughborough now, training diligently. He's not a party boy. He don't really go out that much. I mean, he kind of keeps himself kind of locked away, which is a good thing. That's what you're supposed to be doing. So that's why I don't really see him that much. Do you know what I mean? He's still due to come on the neutral corner. I remember he posted a tweet months ago. Oh, I want to do some podcasts. Name me some podcasts. Loads of people recommended me. He's still yet to come on. So Richard, if you're watching this, where you playing at? Come on. Don't act like don't switch up on me now, man. Don't switch up on me. So yeah, come on the neutral corner, man. Have a good talk. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so there were certain notes that I took from the interview. So he was saying, I remember him saying, he was asked about the breakdown in the Lawrence Okoli, no, sorry, the Jaya Pattaya fight and the Gulamarian. He said that with the Jaya Pattaya one, he said that he was meant to fight him, and then he got signed by a matchroom with the Tasman type thing, I believe, and that's when he said his phone was going off. You know, group thingies were going off or whatever, and then he thought, oh, this is not looking good, and then somehow that fell through. Do you know what I mean? That does need more explanation to me. That does need more explanation. But he was saying that people think it's the fighters, but there's fights outside of the fighting. Like he's basically alluding to promoters fighting, bickering, not wanting to do business with other networks, maybe keeping their fighters. Like it seems what Ben Shalom is doing, he's kind of running a similar thing to what Bob Arum was doing once upon a time, where he was making in-house fights only. Do you know what I mean? He wouldn't really want to make his fighters fight other networks, whether it's on his platform or their platform. He's kind of doing that kind of one, shutting up shop. PBC have been known for doing that as the past few years quite a lot but they do cross over actually, but they haven't got a good record versus Top Rank. I forgot what the record was. I think it's like 22-4, something like that. To Top Rank. So yeah, it's like Ben's trying to keep everything in house and not really let his fighters out. Some people are like, "Oh, Richard escaped, a lucky break for his child Pattaya." He was also asked about what he thought about Jordan Thompson's fight with Jaya Pattaya. He said he could tell that he hadn't had enough sort of learning experiences, enough learning fights and tutelage to be taking on such a world-class southpaw. There was mistakes, like key mistakes he was making. Like, for instance, you're an orthodox fighter fighting a southpaw fighter and you're trying to do the Mayweather Philly shell. Like, I know that as well, that when Floyd's an orthodox, and when Floyd fought southpaws, he would always use the straight up guard. He wouldn't use the shell. You wouldn't use the shoulder roll because it doesn't work. You're kind of in line. Do you know what I mean? You're in line for the shots because they're standing at that, you know what I mean? So you're kind of there. So when the left hand pings, you get caught. Like he's done it a few. I remember he got caught by DeMarcus Corley, Chop Corley, by the straight left hand, which buckled his legs when he tried to do it. He got rocked by Zab Judah with a straight left down the pipe as well, put him on the ropes. And Manny Pacquiao hit him with a straight left down the pipe. All times was when he was trying to do the Philly show. Yes, Jason Burrows, Mr. Good Morning World. Make sure you follow Jason Burrows on TikTok. He has loads of good advice and sort of what do you call it, motivational talks, just short clips for those with short attention spans and that. But yeah, very good. So make sure you follow him. That's my good brother, known from school days. So yeah, man, and from the ends. So big up Jason. So yeah, Jordan Thompson and I noted that he shouldn't have done that. Um, and yeah, his last fight was against Luke Watkins. So, that's a big step up. But as Richard said, people are probably in his ear saying, you've got to take your opportunities. You don't know if you're going to get another chance. So pressures like that, he would have succumbed to, but he's saying if he did, doing that, just make sure you get good money, for what you're doing and stuff like that. Hold on. yes, Serge. Hold on. I need to start showing these comments. So it's looking like. So yeah, big up Jason. Yes, big up Saj. Yeah, we're gonna get onto that. We're gonna get onto that, main, because I broke that news. Yeah. So yeah, man. So yeah, he's just saying make sure you get well paid and stuff like that. But when it was about sort of him fighting him, he didn't really. I don't know. I'm not sure. He was saying. I think he wants to find. He's basically alluded to his main objective is to be a world champion. It's not. He doesn't really. It's not about. Oh, he didn't really say he wants to be the best fighter in the world, or he feels he is the best fighter in the world, or that he feels he can beat everyone. But he just wants a world title, and that's his main thing. That's his plan. That's his strategy with Boxer. Because then when asked about did you turn down a fight versus Lawrence Coley, he then said, nah. My deal with boxers different to other people's. It's not like I've signed with them and they said you've got to take these fights and you've got to do this or else we'll drop you, or you've got to look for somewhere else and blah blah blah. Like the other fighters who've signed recently, I'm talking about Chris Smith and Lawrence Coley. Even though all three of them came from Matchroom, and Lawrence came over as a world champion, to be fair. So he's saying, they have a different path and journey. Then he said it was never presented to him. Then he said that he ain't trying to chase off his coattail. He wants to get his own belt and then make a unification, because then it's a bigger fight, because he doesn't want to call out. You don't want to call him out and ride. But then, essentially, you're gonna have to call out. You're gonna have to call out somebody, ain't you? You're gonna have to call out a champion to get a shot. So whether you're calling out Lawrence Coley, who was at the time considered the number one champion for the past 18 months, you got to call out somebody. So why not say, oh, I want to fight Lawrence Coley and take that fight? But then you'd happily say, I don't know, Jail Pataya, but he didn't say that. But he did say that actually in an interview, like I think a few months ago. And then or Gulamarian, you'd happily go for them. So where it doesn't really matter what belt you go for. Why not be a challenger and win a belt? Why does it have to be a unification? It just seemed like, I don't know. To me, it felt like he would rather go for someone like Chris Smith, who he's beaten before. Now he's relieved Lawrence Coley of his belt, but Lawrence Coley was the champion at the time when this offer was obviously made. He ain't offering it now when he's got no belt, because that definitely don't make no sense. And Gulamarian, he's not a name brand like that, so people don't even know him like that. It's not really going to sell. But I guess he feels that might be an easier, choice as well. Then I don't know. So it's yeah. There was a few things where I was not really, happy with the answers like that. It was very inconclusive and a bit. I don't know. It didn't really. Now I can see. So it begs the question, because what that's going to do is going to fuel the fire for Lawrence Coley to say, yeah, say it like you believe it. You say, I want you to say it to my face like you mean it, because I don't believe you mean you really want to fight me. Because I remember there was talks, they was meant to fight. Obviously, they had a little argy bargy, pushing and shoving, or they had a scuffle in it at the premiere for Creed. Do you know what I mean? So surely he wanted to fight him. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. It didn't really make sense to me. But yeah, he's fighting next week versus Dylan Bridgian. And I remember Bridgian when, was it 8 rounds. I think it was 8 or 10 with Isaac Chamberlain on the Fraser Clark versus Marius Watch card in York Hall because I was there. I saw that fight. So that brilliant guy, he's a Dylan guy. He's tough. He's durable. But Isaac's not a big puncher, so it will be. But he went the distance with Chris Smith as well, actually. So he is durable. He did look durable. So it will be interesting if he can take the power of Richard Riakporhe. So that will be interesting. If he can, then yeah, that'll be something. Hold on a minute. I've got a new comment here. I thought boxer are quite easy going. No, that what it was. Ben Shalom came into the game looking to, work with everybody. He was talking very positive. I want to work with everyone. I don't want to have no politics. I don't want to take sides between Matchroom and Queensbury because that was the main, beef. But at the time, Matchroom was swallowing up Queensbury. They was, they was dominating very, 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 very heavy. Do you know what I mean? Eddie Hearn, Matchroom was winning promotion of the year in most people's eyes at the end of the year. This year, I don't think you can give it to Matchroom. You can't. They might even. Well, we'll see. I'll see what the fight fans say because I'm going to put out some polls next month for you guys to start voting or whatever. But I hear people talking about they feel that Queensbury's been the best promotion of the year, so Frank Warren should get promoted of the year. Others are saying PBC have had a great year, even, and normally people moan about PBC. They're saying PBC, so Al Heyman can get it, even though he's like he's not technically a promoter, but he is the promoter in it. He's just using a different title for whatever reasons he needs to do so. So yeah. So in that sense, I don't think Eddie's going to win it this year. But hey, let's see, because people are going to put their votes in on our channel, on this channel, Fight Fan TV Live. But then other channels, they have their own personal votes. So we'll see what other stations, will give who they choose as best promotion of the year, best promoter of the year, etc. But I don't think it's going to be DAZN this year. But not DAZN, Matchroom and Eddie Hearn have won it for the past 2 years at least, maybe even 3 years, maybe even 4. But so yeah, that'll be interesting. The landscape changed somewhat suddenly in the cruiserweight division and thereby dynamics. Your comments are very telling, therefore. Yeah, very, very true. Isaac Chamberlain's the current cruiserweight British champion. What's his name? Vidal Riley, English champion. He wants his shot at the British title. Obviously, you've got Mikel Lawal. You've got Luke Watkins still about. You've got Jordan Thompson's going up to heavyweight. So yeah, man. But moving on, we had Cassius Chaney. He is 23-1, 16 KOs, and he fought Trevor Bryant 22-1. And he knocked it. This was last weekend. He knocked him out in the 7th round. He dropped him in the 3rd. He knocked him, iced him in the 7th round. He was laid out for quite some time. It was quite alarming. And Trevor Bryant, he got taken out on a stretcher. He's currently still in hospital. He says he can't feel his legs, but also he's ended up having to have an operation in his neck now for a herniated disc in his neck. So, that hook, it did proper snap his head back. So, whiplash, hernia, that's probably what happened. That big right hook, man. That was vicious. I'd seen Cheney. I picked Cheney anyway to win. I remember Base the Kid. He was saying he picked him on his basis picks, but he was thinking that that's what's going to mash up his accumulator. But I said to him, no, don't worry. That's a safe bet. That's a good bet. Stick with that one. And I was right. I've seen Cheney fight before. I remember he fought Luis Arias. He lost that on points. That was on. Oh, what card was that on? That I swear that was on the Michael Hunter versus Jerry Forrest card when they had a draw. And I'd also seen him fight. I'd seen him fight another time. I'd seen him fight twice before. He won. He won that other one. I saw him. He won that on points. I forgot who it's against though. But so yeah, I thought he was going to win on points. To be fair, versus Trevor Bryant. But Trevor Bryant did go down very heavy against Daniel Dubois. Dubois is a puncher. But yeah, he iced him bad, man. So well wishes for my Jamaican brother, Trevor Bryant. And I wish you a full and speedy recovery because yeah, this sport is very unforgiving, man. That's probably is the end for him now. He wasn't in good shape. People are saying he don't live the life. Um, and when you don't live the life, you can get hurt, badly hurt. And that's what seemed to have happened. Do you know what I mean? He's hospitalized, had to have surgery now on his neck. Do you know what I mean? Tough, 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 tough stuff, man. Sajid, I was shocked by that. Oh, so what you probably thought Brian was going to win. It's not with a T, by the way. It's not Bryant, it's Brian. But yeah, most people probably did have Trevor to win. But yeah, I didn't. Yeah. Wish him best of luck. Yep. Real talk. So moving on, gonna go to some UFC talks. This Sergey Pavlovich. So he's my favorite heavyweight currently. He's the only guy I think who has a chance against John Jones. I've been saying this. I've been talking to my good friend Elusive 2.0, Raf Miera. You can check that out on X/Twitter. I've always said that. So he's fighting Tom Aspinall now. People have been piping up Tom Aspinall hard over here, especially like the UK commentary, because obviously he's meant to be what the new British Michael Bisping or whatever, and he's from Manchester as well, funny enough. So they're saying, oh, yeah, he can take on John Jones and he better watch out. I'm like, oh, stop it, but don't oversell it. He's had a few good little knockout wins and stuff, but his last fight, that stoppage was mad premature. Like, that was a joke. That was terrible. Hold on, what's going on there? Don't do all that. Mad premature. Like, I was like, what's going on? He ain't even landing the shots, and you're stopping the fight. That's just some joke business. So he's fighting Sergey Pavlovich. So I've got a few little, notes I'll say about both. Like, Sergey is like 6'2", 6'3", probably like 6'2.5". Tom is like 6'4", but the mad thing is, even though Tom Aspinall is like 2 inches taller, Tom Aspinall has a 78-inch reach, and Pavlovich has an 84-inch arm reach. Mad, isn't it? They weigh normally around the same, about 255. They're about them kind of weights there, so they're like, we're gonna weigh roughly the same. So yeah, that'll be. I expect Pavlovich to knock him out. I know that they've got a common shared opponent. They've only got one, Curtis Blades, and Aspinall lost. It was something about like a knee injury. But I thought Blades was going to get him anyway. And then Pavlovich, he took out Blades in the first round. Sergey, he took out Derek Lewis in the first round. Tai Tuivasa in the first round. Yeah, Curtis Blades in the first round, and he took out one one of them long name brothers who was quite touted as well. He took him out in the first round as well. Sergey's 18-1, Tom Aspinall's 13-3. Tom Aspinall has never been the distance before, interestingly, but he has beat Volkov, Andrei Orlovsky, and that Tybura guy in the last fight. But the Tybura one, that's a premature stoppage, so I couldn't really rate it, man. Yeah, 78-inch reach is short for a 6'4" guy. That's short, because Carl Froch, he had like a 77, 78-inch reach, and he was 6'1", the super middleweight. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's a short reach, but I don't know. There's pros and cons to having short arms. It makes you better on the inside and stuff like that. Maybe that's why he's able to catch people with, good hooks and stuff like that and drop them and stuff like that. Makes him quite an explosive, exciting fighter. So there's always pros and cons to that. So this will be interesting on the weekend. That's this weekend, by the way, at UFC 285 or 295. One of them. There's so many numbers. I think it's 295. Um, and I think 296 is Leon Edwards versus Cody Kobe Covington. Yeah, I think that's what that one is. So yeah, it's a bit of UFC action there. Oh, Sag. Oh yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, I put that in the picture as well. So yeah, talking about that, Gerard Anderson, Big Baby Anderson, he got caught. Well, he got arrested the other day for driving with a firearm like inappropriately whilst under the influence, a DUI charge, driving under the influence. I don't know if it was drugs or alcohol, but he's a young guy. He's only 23, and he's famously cried to Roy Jones saying, I'm only 23, the pressure's on him in life. And then my boy Starter, he's like, oh, he's an idiot. Like, man, what are you doing that for? But, what I will say, you see, don't be that old head. Oh, pull up your pants. Pull up your pants. You gotta be. Don't be that Bill Cosby guy. Do you know what I mean? That's not cool. Don't be that Bill Cosby guy where you want to be holier than thou, like you weren't doing stupidness when you were young. Like we weren't all doing the stupidness and things we would look back at and cringe and think that is so muggy. Like that's so young. That's so immature. That's so. I wouldn't do that now. Like that looks mad. Like looking back at it, like that's actually stupidness, you know. Um, and also remember, Mike Tyson, he drove into a tree. Do you remember that back in the day? But good old Mike Tyson. You wouldn't say that about Mike Tyson, though. You can't do no wrong. He's having he's in the hood. Millionaire in the hood having street fights with another boxer. I Mitch Green. Like this is unbecoming. You know what I mean? Of a professional fighter, world champ. Do you know what I mean? Future world champ. Do you know what I mean? What are you doing? Yeah, I mean, what are you doing in the blocks on some after hours shady shubbins? But he was young in it. When you're young, you do these silly little things. You know what I mean? You do these things that you wouldn't necessarily do 10 years later, 15 years later, 20 years later. Do you know what I mean? So you have to sometimes reflect on how we was and how yourself was when you was 20 years old like Mike or 23 years old like Gerard Anderson. And don't start, doing that. You must. Do you know what I mean? Don't do all that because then you just come across a bit disingenuous and you ain't gonna be relatable to the youth. Do you know what I mean? You have to be relatable. Do you know what I mean? Don't then come around like, yeah, back in my day, I was, you know what I mean, back in my day, but then all of a sudden when they do something, you got to, pull up your pants. Like, come on. There's enough man back in the day. They're walking around. They've never been in prison in their life. They're walking around with their hands down their front of their trousers. Yeah, trying to look cool, standing up just like this. Then they want to spud you with their little pissy hands, their little ball bag hands. Do you know what I mean? Or shake your hand, or even just try and touch you, or brothers who used to smoke, passing zoots when brothers are on some bowls thing and eating boots like groceries. Do you know what I mean? What's all that about? All them wires there. Come on, allow me. Do you know what I mean? So I remember the whole, but what people don't even know, the whole thing. Big up my boy Miniature. He was addressing this the other day. He was having to give some people who don't know the history of why people, that whole thing, it stems from jail. The whole hands down the front of your trousers thing is because when you have your prison suits on, you don't have pockets in the UK ones. It ain't like what's that bloody thing called Prison Break, where the brother puts out his pocket tea bag and he got a holy pocket. No, there's no pockets in UK prison suits. So you can't keep your hands warm, especially if you're on the yard and you're in them cold landings with bars and all that kind of stuff. So you can't put your hands in your pockets to keep your hands warm. So you was forced to put it down in front of your trousers to keep yourself warm. But now you see people on road in tracksuits with pockets, jeans with pockets, 2 layers of tracksuits, jeans on top of tracksuits, tracksuits on top of jeans, and you put your hand down the front of your trousers like, come on, allow me. And you try and look like a rude boy. You never been filmed. You never been man. Allow it. Stop trying to be a rude boy. And then when you get moved to, oh, I'm a good kid. You know what I mean? And then parents, oh, my son was a good son. Come on. His son's walking around thinking he's a rude boy. He's thinking he's that guy. So come on. Tell him to stop it. Because you will get tested. You're walking around with your hands on your chest. You're trying to act like you've done some kind of time, or you're I'm on the cold corner, like you're Lloyd Banks. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man. Just take it easy now. What's he saying? Bill Cosby did it later in life. Yeah, exactly. They always do it. You always do it later in life. Come on your high horse, pull up your pants. Do you know what I mean? But when he was younger, he was, on the what's it, Percocets and what's them, Quaaludes and taking all kinds of drugs. But in his older years, would he, would he condone that? Do you know what I mean? Promoting drugs to the youth. If he saw youth taking drugs, he told them, don't be cool, stay in school to say no to drugs. Do you know what I mean? But he was on the drug thing. He was on all that. He was up for that. Do you know what I mean? Also, Dan Aziz, he has been cleared to fight. I saw, I think it was the British Boxing Board of Control. They put out that Dan Aziz is cleared to fight. So that he's looking to be rescheduled to fight Buatsi first part of next year. So I think that's probably January, February. But then IFL put out a thing of who would you like to see him fight next. So I don't know. Do they know something we don't know? Is Dan due to fight somebody else? Just like what's going on there? Why would they say? Why would they say that? Why wouldn't they just say he's cleared to fight? Because this is a separate thing. They weren't the first people I heard this from. I saw this from another. I got this from my other source that he's due to fight Boatsi. Then IFL's put out a thing. Who do you want to see him fight? Like next year? Like what's that about? Like that's alarming. So I hope Boatsi ain't decided he's going to go another direction, or Ben's decided to make these guys go in another direction. Just got to reschedule the fight, innit? Especially people who've kept hold of their tickets. They want to see that fight, I imagine. So surely it must be Boatsi. I don't know. Maybe someone who's doing the admin or whatever, maybe done a mad little wrong status there. But yeah, that kind of confused me there. And I hope I imagine it's confused some of you other guys as well. Right in the comment section. Did that kind of throw you off? Those who saw the IFL thing about that? I don't know. That was a bit mad there. So yeah. I look forward to the reschedulement of Aziz versus Boatsi. And yeah, man, big ups to Dan Aziz, good friend of the show. You know what I mean? Been on the Neutral Corner. Make sure you check that out. You know what I mean? He's come on Insta Live. So yeah, he's always shown love, you know what I mean, from school and the ends and that. So yeah, big up every time. Shadesha Green, she is fighting Franchon Cruz for the vacant WBC title that Savannah Marshall won from Franchon Cruz, who was undisputed, but Savannah Marshall has been stripped of the title, I believe, and that is now vacant. So now Shadesha Green is fighting Franchon Cruz for the title. Now that's going to be interesting. I expect Shadesha to win on points because Franchon Cruz looked kind of unmovable. Like even when Savannah was hitting her, it weren't budging her at all. So she's very durable. So she's been points with Clarissa. Obviously, Clarissa is a puncher, just doesn't know how to finish or put them together. But that was their debut together. So Savannah weren't. I mean, Clarissa weren't really able to really put the pop in the punches like she can now, where she can stagger and wobble people. She just don't know how to finish. So yeah, I expect Shadesha Green to win on points, but yeah, it will be her toughest fight to date versus a former undisputed champion in Franchon Cruz. So I look forward to that. That is due. That's going to be in Florida, I believe. I forgot what date it is though. If someone can help me out, Or remind me. I forgot what date it is, but yeah, it's not far away. That one, it's not far away. Also, Joe Cordina, he won last weekend um, versus Rodriguez, and I scored it a draw. Um, Joe, he had a good start, good first round. Then Rodriguez, he won the second round, and it was like nip and tuck. Then he won two, and then the guy come and he started the Rodriguez guy. He started with a lot of the middle rounds. Joe, I think he's weight drained at the weigh-in. He looked like Devin Haney in the Cambosos rematch weigh-in when the eyes was all sunken in. It was that thriller eyes look. Like, yeah, it wasn't good. I noticed that. I was like, oh, I'm a bit worried here. Even though I knew Rodriguez couldn't hurt him because he only had like 3 KOs in like 15, 16 wins. But I thought with his work rate, because I'd seen him fight before, and he's got a good work rate. So I thought, oh, if Joe can't bang him out, which I haven't seen him get dropped before Rodriguez, then this could become like quite a difficult one. And it did. Because I scored it a draw. One judge had it a draw like I did. The other two had it 116, 112. Um, some most people I know, they had it either a draw or 115, 113 for Joe. A couple of people who didn't ever put their scorecards out though. You know, the usual suspects. They see someone having a stakeout and they go, "Oh, I thought that Rodriguez was unlucky to not get the verdict. I thought that Rodriguez won the fight." But it's like when you ask them, "What was your scorecard? What rounds did you give to Rodriguez?" They can never tell you. Do you know what I mean? They can never tell you. Same way with the Ngannou. I was like, what rounds did you give to Ngannou? Because yeah, he won his rounds more emphatically, but he only won 4 of them. So I'm like, tell me what 6 rounds did you give, or 6 or more rounds did you give to Ngannou? They can't tell you. Do you know what I mean? They're just filibusterers. So you got to be cognizant of people like that. But hold on a minute. Hold on. In terms of Boatsy Aziz, could a substitute have come in for Boatsy? No, maybe not on that short notice. People, the crowd, the public wouldn't want that. Public wouldn't want that. Not the annual call. Nah. I heard on Rummy's Corner, a good channel, that none of the governing bodies have forced a mandatory for at least 2 years and up to 5. Who's that regarding? Sorry. What's the situation on Eubank versus? You're throwing mad questions out, boy. Let me get through the news. Let me get through word on the canvas. Senior Harlem YouTube a few hours ago, but he wasn't particularly understandable for me. So I'm wondering. Well, from what I've heard, word on the canvas is that the fight is signed for next year in Saudi Arabia. But there's a few hurdles because is Eubank Jr. going to give up his British boxing board license because he will have to if he's looking to fight Conor Benn because the British board have already said they've made these sort of threats that they look at if you do fight him or anyone partaking with him you're probably going to lose your license because it's like they've managed to fix the loopholes Frank Warren was able to get away with the David Hay Derek Chisora thing in Luxembourg. So yeah, maybe Eubank is looking to give up his British boxing border control license because he was offered a world title shot. He said, "Take me out of that mandatory position." So maybe he's on the money thing. Maybe he's just I don't know. So yeah, we just have to wait and see. But that's the word on the canvas that I got. Take your time. So answer at your leisure or not at all. Okay, thank you very much. In other news, what other news have we got? Yeah. So as what's his name? Earlier, someone mentioned Philip. So Philip said, did you hear that Crawford might get stripped of the IBF title? Now, I can tell you that Terence Crawford has been stripped of the IBF title, and Jaron Boots Ennis, he is the interim champion, and he's now been upgraded to full champion status. So he is now the full IBF champion. I don't know if you call it email champion, paper champion, but what I find disrespectful is that Terence Crawford only won that belt 3 months ago. He only won it 3 months ago, and against Errol Spence, and now you're stripping him. How can you strip a man after he's held a belt for 3 months? Like, there's been no talks like he must fight someone. What, November, December? Like, when did this mandatory get called? When did it get issued exactly? Like, and you've got a final date, purse bids, or if you say no, we're taking the belt off you. When did that happen? Like, this has just come out of nowhere. And then they've also taken Terence Crawford out of the IBF ranking, so he's not even ranked with the IBF. It's like, come on, hold on. So he's paid his 3% on that IBF. So he's paid his sanctioning fees, 12% for his last fight, by the way. That's more than national insurance, by the way. So he's paid 12% out of his money to these belt governing bodies. We don't even know where the money goes. Yet the IBF was just so quick to just strip him, and then just give it to Jerron Ennis. Like, not make the title vacant and make Jerron Ennis fight somebody, the next one under him or whatever, for the vacant strap. No, just give it to him, elevate him straight away. I just found that quite disrespectful, in my opinion. I just found that quite, like, the undisputed champion, biggest fight of the year, and you just like stripping him after 3 months out of nowhere. Like, you take him out of the rankings. Like, that's a lot of disdain. Like, and I can see why Terence was like, yeah, he's why he's got why he walks around with a bee in his bonnet. It's just that's a liberty take, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comment section. That, because to me that's mad. That's absolutely bonkers, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think that's cool at all. I think people need to. He needs to. I don't know what he's going to do, but he needs to do something, because I thought that was a proper. I thought that was proper wrong. And also, lastly, we got Adam Smith from Sky. He is now come. Everyone's wondering where he's gone missing. Where's Adam? People are having other rumors about gambling and this and that and all this other stuff. But he's actually come out now and revealed what was going on, why he was away. So I'm going to read out this statement, because I don't want to do it, miss any words or misinterpret. So he says, hope everyone is well. New, exciting beginnings and challenges for me after a wonderful, incredible 3-decade journey at the amazing place that is Sky Sports. A brutal year away recovering from serious ill health has given me the opportunity to think of my wider passions in sport, taking a deeper interest in the development of sports, men and women, and commentating on a broader canvas. I am cancer-free and raring to go. Thanks to everyone at Sky, all my super talented colleagues, past and present, for the most magical memories. Time for me to fly, and I cannot wait. So yes, all I can say is congratulations, and yeah, praise to the Most High that Adam Smith, he was battling cancer, and he's won the biggest fight of his life to date, and he's cancer free now. So that's what it was. Everyone making jokes and memes and doing, the Where's Wally and all that kind of stuff. That's why you got to be careful with what you're saying. All these jokes and it's a bit of banter, bit of banter. Do you know what I mean? People going through things, and that's a serious thing. He could have, he could have passed away. That's a very serious thing. So, big ups to Adam Smith, and yeah, wish him all the best for the future, and hope he does, some more good things in boxing, because I like it. He's got a great voice, and he knows his stuff, and he does other things in boxing behind the scenes, which he's very talented at. So I look forward to his future ventures and endeavors. And yeah, man, it was So that was good news to hear. Surprising news because I didn't know that that's what it was, but good to hear that he's now, he's won that battle. So yeah. So any what do you call it? Any comments from anyone? Anyone want to jump in? Sad, you want to jump in? I think I put the link in. 1 second. I think I did. Let me try. Let me see. If you want to come in, because I remember. So if you want to come in, have a little chat. Hold on. We can. Otherwise, I will. Hold on. Oh, there we go. You all right, mate?
Yeah, can you hear me, Dan?
Yeah. Stick your light on, though, mate. Stick your light on.
Yeah. I'm looking a bit funny in the eye department with the eczema and that, but
Yeah, it's
if you help me see my.
looking funny in the light. I don't want to talk to a man talking to another man in the dark. Looks a bit sultry,
I have.
Especially at this time of night. Let's take it easy, gents. But yeah, how's it going?
Sorry.
Hello. Oh wow. Got to pay that Wi-Fi, man. Oh my God, what happened to you, sunshine? All right. Anyone else want to jump in? Hop in quickly before I close up. Let me know. That was hilarious. Going once, going twice. Sold. All right. Oh, I think we'll leave it there. So yes. Hold on. Is he back? Hold on. Oh, here we go. Yep. You're here.
Nice to see you, Dan.
Oh, yeah, man. You too. So, what do you want to talk about, Saj?
Yeah, just going to mention a couple of things because what I want, you was talking about the situation. Sorry, I'm getting echo, so you'll have to forgive me.
I was talking about the situation with what? Sorry.
Let's try there. I hope that's better.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I think it's because I had the YouTube and the StreamYard at the same time, which was messing it up.
Yeah.
Basically, you're talking about the IBF situation with what's his name? Crawford. Yeah, it reminds me a little bit because in Dubai, Riddick Bowe was saying that one of the reasons why he threw the WBC belt in the ring is because they tried to make him fight Lennox pretty much immediately after he fought Holyfield. He had such a tough fight. And then they were saying, right, now you got to fight Lennox straight away, kind of thing. You're not allowed to have any voluntaries. You're not allowed to sort of like sit on the belt as they used to do back in the day. You just got to go straight in there. So it's not unprecedented for me, from what I can gather. I mean, and also, you was mentioning about the how Boots has been elevated to the championship position. I mean, Kenny Norton, to a certain extent, had that as well back in the day, if you remember, because he beat Jimmy Young, yeah. And because Spinks chose to fight Muhammad Ali in a rematch, Kenny Norton got elevated to the to the champion status, and then obviously he fought Larry and all that. But anyway, that's just historical. I thought I'd just check up on a couple of what next for Fury. Do you reckon Tyson Fury? Because it's some people are suggesting he go back. Carfrot said he should go back in a rematch with Ngannou or Ngunu, as you were saying it. I think pronouncing it the other day. Or what do you reckon? Does he need to have a fight with Ngunu, or does he now need to say, right, need to knuckle down and get a proper top 10, top 5, top 3 opponent?
No, I think he needs to fight Usyk next. That's the fight that we want. That's the fight that needs to happen. That's the fight that we feel he's been swerving. That's the fight I feel Usyk will win.
Yeah. You think Usyk will win that, yeah?
Yeah, I've said that for a while. But and
Mm.
also, I've heard news. 1 minute, I've heard he said something about he's going to retire. It's imminent. But then Frank Warren's come out and said that that's a lie. So I don't know
Yeah.
what kind of mind games he's playing. Because
He
remember,
always says that, doesn't he? He always says, "Oh, I'm going to retire." Whenever he has one of his hissy fits, he gives it, "Oh, I'm going to retire now. I've had enough of it."
yeah,
I know he's quite keen on the WWE thing, isn't he? And that all that family's jumped on the sort of like misfits and YouTube boxer bandwagon a little bit, haven't they? Kind of thing. So probably finds
mm,
that's a bit more high reward, lower risk kind of thing, isn't it?
yeah. But the fact of the matter is, he's going to have to fight Usyk, because if he walks away from it, he will always he'll be seen as a man who's just ducking, especially as his last performance. That's going to look
Mm.
like you're now scared, you're ducking. So he's got to fight Usyk next, really.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. I think he's got to fight Usyk next, and I think he will. Well, and it's surprising because he was talking about, if you don't fight me on December 23rd, I'm going to sue you. I'm going to do this, that, and then now he's pushed it back to February. Obviously, because he didn't.
December 23rd, or whatever it was. That's a bit. I was calling it a bit tight, wasn't it? Or what do you reckon?
Well,
Especially after what happened with Ngannou. If that had been an easy fight and they'd dusted off Ngannou and Ngannou fairly easily, then December 23rd or whatnot, like a month and a half or something, probably seemed quite viable. But in this day and age, fighters don't. We're not talking about Muhammad Ali type of era, or even Mike Tyson or whatever, where they fought, every few months or something, or
Canelo does
even
that.
at the top level. Hmm?
Canelo does, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
So
relative rarity, though, isn't it nowadays?
yeah, because
Yeah,
there's the TV dates and stuff like that. But
yeah, yeah.
I think he was intended to go with the 23rd, but he obviously anticipated it to be a little easy sparring session for him against an MMA guy. But he ended up
Mm,
getting dropped, ended up getting a black eye and having a real rough night. So his body, he didn't think he was going to end up having such a tough
mm,
time, and that's why now he's having to move it to 2 months after the original thing. He probably thought, yeah, this would have a little warm up, literally a little warm up
mm,
move around, and then I'll go
yeah.
in for December 23rd. But now, because of how it went, he ain't going to be ready for that. Whereas Usyk was, because Usyk's his fight was back in August, because I was there in Poland, in Wrocław.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Against
yeah. Got a good deal.
yeah. Come on, that's it. Um, so, so yeah, so hopefully February is when it happens, and I look forward to that.
Yeah. So, what about the rest of the heavyweight division below that? Because the sort of second, the B side of that sort of like top level heavyweight was going to potentially be Wilder and Joshua, wasn't it? But that seems to be having its various machinations, to use a word that Ben Doughty uses. Um,
Yeah, but I see.
what's your awareness of that, and what's going on below Fury, below the Fury Usyk anticipated sort of situation?
Well, AJ and Wilder. I saw something. I got word on the canvas that they're now back in talks, because Wilder's now come out of this reality TV show he's been filming up in Scotland. He was in one of them kind of. It's kind of like Big Brother house, but some kind of Scottish type thing. Whatever.
Version
Anyway.
of it, yeah, some
So
sort
yeah,
of yeah, weird version of it,
yeah,
basically.
one
Yeah,
of them, type of nonsense business.
yeah.
Um, so now he's now back in talks. They're now back in talks for this fight, because the Andy Ruiz fight is not happening. So yeah, the AJ thing is back in talks, but AJ's got loads of options. Eddie Hearn was talking about Francis Ngannou. He was talking about Manuel Char. He was talking about who else? I heard a few names, but yeah, Wilder and AJ, that would be good, especially if they was to do that in somewhere like Nigeria. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? That would be really good. I think.
What's that,
I think.
Wilder and Joshua? Joshua's
Yeah,
wanted to fight in Nigeria for some time. He's a long,
and Wilder has too. So
yeah.
that I think that would be a good thing for it. It was it. And big up Ade Oladipo. He was saying the name of the fight should be Chaos in Lagos.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a
yeah.
good
No,
title.
that'd be. But underneath that, because a while back we were talking about, a lot of people were saying that, the heavyweight division now, if
Hmm.
they can get fights made, it's quite exciting. But I'm just wondering, what below the top four, what else is there that you're aware of and think, oh well, that could be interesting, or
Hmm.
that's potentially exciting.
Hmm. Well, you could have Richard Torres versus Makhmedov. You could have Gerard Anderson versus Jalolov, even though I think they probably meet more at the top.
Mm.
Fabio Wardley versus Fraser Clark or Solomon
Yeah,
Dakers.
yeah, yeah. That's the one. The British scene looks quite good at the moment in terms
Yeah,
of heavyweights. Like at least two or three fights.
yeah. Martin Bakoli versus Zili Zhang.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
I
mean?
think
So
Zhang might be too a bit. I think I fancy Zhang Bakoli going a bit the way of the Joy Joyce fight, maybe in terms of um,
really,
Zhang's movement and that. He's got he's whether Joy just sort of played it. Zhang just had Joyce's number, but from what I've seen of Bakoli, he's got that sort of Joe Joyce Chisora type. I don't know if it's a bit disrespectful of me maybe to say one pace, but it's a sort of like style which is straight come forward, straight up, straight forward kind of style, or
hmm
no?
yeah, I can
And
see what you
Zhang's
mean.
more of a lateral movement, a bit of a relatively okay on the feet for a big guy, and he throws punches in bunches and quite quick. Um, and then moves, bum bum bum, move out, bum bum bum, move out. Um, Bit of a weird analogy here, but maybe like a really big Chinese version of Joe Kawasaki kind of thing. Um, if that analogy can be made.
Well, they're both southpaws, so I
Yeah,
can see
yeah,
where you're going. I can see where you're going. But yeah, I think it'll be a good fight, that one. Who you decide to pick, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I can definitely see a Zhang win. So yeah, but I think it'll be a good fight. Bakoli definitely has a chance with his style and his work rate and stuff like that. And I think he's a bit more faster and agile than someone like Joe Joyce. So I don't think he'd be as easy to just tag, and he has a better
yeah,
defense than Joe Joyce. Where Joe Joyce is a man who relied on the juggernaut chin. Bakoli's not a man who's, people say, oh, he's got a great chin, because I don't really think it's the best chin is the one that doesn't get hit, is it? So,
yeah. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
so yeah,
I was
so
actually, yeah, I was
go on.
quite surprised with Joe Joyce against Zhang because he looked really he looked like he'd really picked up his game first in the Dubois fight and then in the Joseph Parker fight. And then it looked like he'd almost sort of regressed when he fought Zhang. I mean, either he got put off by the southpaw jinx, as they call it, or whatnot. I mean, it just looked weird, and then obviously it became apparent that pretty much Zhang had sort of got his number, so to speak.
Yeah, sometimes people just have your number, just like if you're talking about Shane Mosley versus Vernon Forrest. Vernon Forrest beat him twice in the amateurs, and then yeah, he beat him in the pros. Dropped Mosley. You never see
Mm,
Mosley getting dropped and stuff. But when a man
yeah,
has your number, a man has your number at the end of the day. Just like
yeah,
what's his name, Antonio Tarver with Roy Jones.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
historically, you're always going to pick Roy
That's right.
Jones
Yeah,
as
yeah.
a fighter, but
Anthony Hearns.
Antonio Tarver beat him in the amateurs, beat him both times in the pros. I know they robbed him the first time, but
Yeah,
he won, and then he
yeah,
knocked
yeah,
him out the second time. So yeah, he had Roy Jones' number. So when you got a man's number, you got a man's number. Um,
yeah,
and I think that's what Zhang is for Joe Joyce. That won't necessarily happen if he was to fight other people, because we've seen other good fighters that Joe Joyce has been in with, and he's been too much for them. But maybe the southpaw stance and the movement and that sort of explosive 1-2s and two, right and left hook, those kind of zinging punches. That was a bit too. That was yeah. It kind of threw Joe off, But yeah, he can definitely come back, and
mm,
I look forward to seeing bit more from him. He ain't got long left, obviously, due to his age, but yeah, he's not done. He's not done.
yeah. I'm just going to keep it fairly short because we're going past the hour and that. Where Anthony Yard is keen on potentially fighting the winner of Buatsi Aziz, and he doesn't really mind either way. So,
Hmm.
how do you see that playing out in terms of the light heavyweight scene? Does
Light
do
heavyweight.
either of those? Yeah, light heavy. Do um, if either whichever wins out of Buatsi or Dan Aziz, and we know Dan is quite friendly with me as well on social media and that. Um, does then Anthony Yard come into the picture as a potential opponent for either of those, or are they then looking to go for a world title fight?
I know that would be Anthony Yard's intention. Anthony Yard's look. I think he's meant to be fighting Ricky Summers. Uh, is it next month or something? He
He's
said
got a
that he
fight
wanted.
coming up. Yeah, because him and Tunde were on Sky Sports not that long ago, and I think you were referring to the just to digress as I usually do. You were talking about Richard Riakporhe coming on Sky Sports today, were you? Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
well,
Anyway,
a day or two ago. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He had the white T-shirt, white and blue suit or tracksuit on, didn't he? Yeah, is
Yeah,
that
the
one?
Adidas one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool, cool. Yeah. So I did see Anthony and Tunde on Sky Sports probably a few weeks ago now, but
Hmm.
yeah, they were talking about him. Yeah, Anthony seemed quite keen on that.
Yes, he did. And so he's going to fight Ricky Summers at the end of the year. He said. So he said he's looking to fight the winner of Buatsi and Dan Aziz next year, because obviously, presume the fight was meant to have happened before it got rescheduled. So now that fight's going to be January, February. So then, yeah, it kind of works out timetable wise still, but I don't think that the winner of that is going to look to have that big domestic clash and then go into
Mm,
another domestic clash for like the Commonwealth or British Commonwealth with Anthony Yard when
yeah,
they've been promised the Bivol next. So Bivol's meant to be fighting what's that guy's name? It's a guy that Beterbiev beat in 5 rounds, but he got stopped on his feet, and the guy can actually punch. I've seen the guy fight a few times. He kind of like when he's trapped like a rat, he just bangs out, and he's been looking good lately. He's got some good. He's got about 3
I
knockout.
think I know you're the one. It springs to mind, but I can't really.
Yeah, he's
Is
like
it a white American?
no, he's I don't know if he's like Bosnian or whatever it is. What is it? What is it? Hold on, I've got his name here. Radivoji Kalidzik. That fight with
Yeah.
Bivol is scheduled for January the 13th in Las Vegas.
Mm.
So yeah, so Bivol's fighting in January. So say Dan Aziz Buatsi gets made in January or Feb, then obviously that would be perfect timing for the winner to fight Bivol in his next fight, because his next fight right now is January 13th. So then the winner gets Bivol next. Do you know what I mean? So Anthony Yard, they're not going to
He might
look
have to
to fight
hold his
Anthony Yard. And
horses
then
a bit.
yeah, because then who's Bivol going to fight after? Well, unless he goes for the only way they'll have to fight Anthony Yard is if Bivol after this fight in January goes into the undisputed with Beterbiev.
Beterbiev, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what
so
I was
then
thinking about, yeah.
yeah, so if that happens, which I would love to see,
Yeah,
then
same
yeah,
here,
the
yeah.
winner would probably best serve them to fight Anthony Yard. But what I can imagine is the winner is gonna kind of do something like what Anthony Yard would do, and just wait for the winner of Beterbiev and Biffle in it, rather
Yeah,
than
yeah.
risk it.
Yeah.
Rather than risk
Yeah.
it, and just wait for your shot afterwards, because Beterbiev's got to get past. They've got to, well, not get past. He's going to fight Callum Smith in January as well. So if Bivol fights in January as well, then that's looking like a collision course in itself, ain't it? So
Yeah.
yeah,
And if
I
there's
imagine.
if there's an upset also in some of those potential fights, you're talking that potential British undisputed, isn't it? That would be sort of quite surprising. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on, my God. But yeah, my battery's about to die on my laptop. I can't even
Yeah,
find
yeah.
it.
So no worries, man.
I'm gonna have to
It's
go.
brilliant being talking to you. I'll probably message you as well because there's one other question, but we'll leave it for another day. And
Yeah.
I'll see you around, innit?
Yeah, man. Big ups, man. Every time.
Thanks,
Love.
man. Take care.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. That's we're done, and it is Word on the Canvas. It's Danny Glover from Fight Fan TV Live. And remember, guys, persistence beats resistance. You know where it is.